Hi, this video is going to be about a technique, a realization which helped me end my anxiety. Um, but before that, let's define anxiety, okay? Scientifically and socially. First, let's look towards socially. What is anxiety? Anxiety is when you are taken aback from performing any new action, any old action as well, or taking any step, any decision, or making any kind of evolution, whether in your timeline, whether physically, mentally, or environmentally, is called anxiety. When you're afraid to do that, afraid of what will your nature react to your actions. Okay, I'm not saying people in specifically over here, but just the nature, because I can be anxious from turning this light on by just being scared that what if I got electrocuted, right? So that is what anxiety is. So let's say it clearly, okay? Being anxious of the nature's response to your evolution, for which you yourself are responsible, is called anxiety. And why did I define it now? Because for this video we are going to look at this specific anxiety, because anxiety can be of any kind, okay? And so it is very important to first define the thing we are discussing upon. Now let's move forward. After defining anxiety, how to overcome this, because many people have many anxieties, right? From performing many new actions, or maybe the old actions. For example, for a student, maybe just asking a question to a teacher because the student thinks that this question is dumb. But if we look deeper, then it's not the student who thinks that the question is dumb, because if the question is dumb to ask, or fairly childish to ask, why would his or her brain would create that question in the first place? So that means it's not the student who thinks that the question is dumb, but the student's perception of what the natural response would be to the question he or she is asking. Maybe the response from the teacher, maybe the response from the friends, from the classmates, okay? And one more, to make this definition more specific and also this scenario more specific, is the unfavorable response to the evolution or the action of the player in this case, or the subject in this case being the student who is performing the action, or maybe you or me, okay? So in this case I will take you as the performer, and so you can relate to it. So when you ask the question, you get a hint of some unfavorable responses from the nature. Maybe your teacher thinks it's dumb, your friends, classmates, maybe they will laugh. What will they think is the textual response in your mind, if you speak English. Okay, and in any other language the response is going to be somewhat similar to this in the certain periphery, right? So how to get rid of this kind of anxiety, because you guys know, or what kind of disadvantages it provides for the performer, right? No new actions, even if they are correct, okay? Even if they are profiting the player or the performer or the subject or you, even if they are profiting you, or if they are not, no problem, but you want to perform that action for your own benefit. Obviously a human being, or any kind of action is performed by anything in the entire universe, is due to an objective or to achieve something, okay? uh, let it be even to achieve um, a movement from point xy corresponding to 1 1 to the point xy corresponding to um, 1 2. Okay, so just that movement in a 2D space, just to achieve that, you perform an action, and you perform that because you know that this is favorable for you. It is just it is simpler to understand it this way. You're asking question, not thinking that whether it's dumb or childish, but you will get the answer to it, which will in turn make you more intelligent. Okay, and that's why that is in your favor, and you're asking the question. However, your perception of others, or your mirror, or your perception of the natural mirroring is so unfavorable that it overpowers your achievement or your desire to achieve that pleasure, because everything is pleasure. Okay, everything gives you certain amount of pleasure. Nothing in this world is without pleasure. You should understand that at first as well. Okay, so this is what the anxiety does. Okay, and this is how the anxiety performs. Now in this case, it is the first factor to notice is the perception is yours. Okay, and that's why here in this case you are being utterly biased about the nature and the natural response. It is just like I am not throwing the ball, being on the earth in the air, just because I am scared that what if ball just flew away into the outer space and I will not get that ball back. And this is utterly foolish until I experiment in that way. Okay, so first thing I would like to make it clear that it is your own biased thoughts that is stopping you from achieving something or from performing an evolution into your timeline, okay, or into your natural space. So it is utterly sad, and you should be guilty of it, that you're not performing any action and you are being extremely biased about the natural ways of response to your actions. Okay, so the thing which you should start doing from today itself is perform an action. Okay, do the experiment. This is what the first thing I looked at. Okay, let's just do the experiment. I am thinking that these students will laugh at me, but let me first at least ask the question. Okay, because I don't know, actually, that's just my bias. Okay, so there are two possibilities now in your head, negative and positive, and due to the very natural wiring of brain, it sees the negative as superior to the positive side. Okay, so that's why so the negative overpowers to the superior side. The superiors are the positive side. The positive side is what the students, in this particular case, the students and the teacher will appreciate you, and the question will get solved and you will get intelligent. Okay, the negative side is over here is you will get embarrassed, generalizing all of the possible negative scenarios. You will get embarrassed. Okay, and that negative side just overpowers the positive side we have looked at, and that is what the next stage that increases your anxiety. First is the uncertainty. Okay, what will happen. Okay, and also your biased perception. Second step is the negative perception overpowering the positive perception. Now, what to do about the negative perception? It is not even relative. Okay, the negative any perception of the nature for you never lasts, but of your own. Okay, your physical system. Okay, your physical system is you and the aura around you. That is it. That is what you are given by the nature. That is what your system ends where your energy aura ends, and apart from that, the everything beyond that is not in your control and is not your perception. Now why or maybe is not your system. Now why am I telling you the difference between your system and what is not your system? It is because whatever is not your system will not record your actions and your evolution, unless it's the universal frequency and vibrations that is recording your actions. Okay, so your every action beyond your system is only recorded as the frequency and vibration, which has no nature, no good, no bad. It's pure energy. Okay, so not to even think that if the action you're performing is good or bad. Okay, the only perception as for good and bad is the comes when the memory comes into place, and the memory, your memory, is only only until the boundaries of your system. And I just explained that your system is just you and your energy aura around you. That's it. Beyond that is not your system. So now this system will call as memory system, and every person and everything here has memory system. Now in case of our anxiety as we defined it, we are not addressing any non-living thing, okay, not even animal, okay, only human beings. So here we will look at the memory systems of the human beings. Okay, whatever you do, whether good or bad, will be stored only in your memory system. So once, just in class, I was a bit distracted and my thought went on to some place in the past when I was in like 10th grade. Okay, and I thought of some things, and something, you also might have experienced this, that you think something of the past and you get some actions performed by you which you just performed at that time, but when you now think, then you feel, oh, quite embarrassing action. No, it wasn't necessary to perform that action. Okay, whether you asked some dumb question, but at that time you felt that is pretty intelligent question to ask, but now you feel that it is pretty dumb question to ask. I thought about that, and I thought that what would have others think, what would have my classmates felt about me. Okay, this was one part of the entire event I thought about. Okay, and at the second moment I thought, there is a possibility that no one remembered me asking that question. Not at all. Only I am reminiscing about that. So to confirm that, I went into that particular amount of time and I extended that timeline. Okay, so for example, if I asked a dumb question which might have felt pretty intellectual at that time, on like 20th March in a particular year, okay, on that particular day. So I just extended that timeline and took into consideration that entire academic year, and then I tried to think, what dumb things did others perform? Guess what I found? And even you can do this experiment with yourself. I remembered none. I recalled none. So does that mean that no one was dumb in my class except me? Not at all. Everyone performed some embarrassing task without even noticing it at that time. But those tasks were in their respective memory systems, and my tasks were in my memory system. Now if you forgot what is memory system, just reverse this video and look it again. So my tasks were just in my memory system, and their tasks are in their memory systems. They are not going to remember what embarrassing tasks did I perform, until those tasks are like, wow, amazing, like amusing to them at that time. Just like someone performed a magic trick. Okay, people till date do not forget the magical performances performed by Houdini, right? But they surely should have forgotten a magical performance performed by some ex-student in their class, right? That's the thing. You're a student, and until you're a famous personality, you do not perform a task which would make a stamp in their brain, in their memory systems. Okay, I know some memory systems, like how did the Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo scored a bicycle kick in the Real Madrid wearing a blues t-shirt with a goalkeeper in the green jersey on a white goalpost. I know that. okay, because that led a stamp into my brain because I liked it so fucking much, okay. But until you do not perform any such task, no one will remember, okay. Until you until you run naked throughout your school, no one will remember what tasks did you perform, what evolution did you perform. No one will remember. So just get that thing into your mind, just get it stamped into your mind that no one's gonna remember your actions, your skills. So just perform it, okay. So this thing, keep it in your mind. No one is going to remember what actions you performed. You're going in front of the class and you read a wrong word, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, then everything back to normal, until you are very bad at reading and you do not perform that task over and over again. Remember, there are 2 types of stamping in someone's memory system. First, if you run naked throughout your school, that's one, like something as unique as that. That's one thing to stamp your action into their memory systems. Second is to do the similar kind of thing over and over again. For example, reading badly over and over again will tell them that you are a bad reader, and they would never forget that, okay. So that's why if you're wrong once, doesn't matter, twice doesn't matter, thrice doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Everybody are so self-centered that nobody cares, okay. Nobody cares if you're laughing at and cracking some jokes among your friend in somebody's death ceremony. Nobody cares. Everybody are in their own worlds. Just keep that in mind and see your anxiety will just vanish, okay. And with that said,